When I reach 1000 subscribers I will be giving away a $25 Amazon gift card away. To enter, like, subscribe and leave a comment below. Posted by you/Meraldisa. I demand you cut your son's hair because it's making my daughter uncomfortable and gender confused. So, this weird thing happened just 2 days ago, and I'm still confused. I posted on this sub before with my own childhood stories a while ago, but I think this time I met my first real entitled mom. Oh my. I was visiting a friend and ex-co-tenant over the weekend. I know her from university and she now has 2 sons aged 4 and 6. The 6Y/O has long wavy hair like his father. They are kinda a hippie family, but not anti-vax or anything. So we were having cake and tea Saturday afternoon at her place when we heard a quite loud banging on the door. Without hesitation my friend just yelled, "Yeah, come on in. The door is open." As she must have expected either one of her own kids who were playing outside or some neighborhood children. This is pretty normal here in Switzerland, that you don't lock your door, especially in country villages. Instead it was the mother of a girl her oldest son goes to elementary school with, the EM of this story. It started pretty normal as the EM brought a stack of printed out lice warning leaflets and hands them to my friend and explains that there was a lice outbreak at the kindergarten and elementary school and some of the kindergarten children, including her daughter, were affected. My friend was thankful for the warning and tried to calm the EM down by offering her some cake and tea, so the EM joined us. I don't have kids, but I know that lice infestations happen, especially among small children, and that it's usually not a big deal. The affected kid just doesn't go to school/kindergarten until it's over, like 2 to 3 days, and there is a range of products to treat it. Also, summer holidays already started, so the risk of spreading was quite small. No biggie, we thought. Then EM goes on about how her daughter was affected so badly that she had to cut her long hair, and that her daughter now is super sad and cries all day because of this. My friend tried to be nice and comforting, telling her that it will grow back and that she is sure that her daughter looks beautiful with short hair, etc. I decided not to get involved as this seemed to be a matter between 2 mothers and I felt a bit inappropriate, so I kept silent while the conversation derailed. EM: yeah, but isn't it weird that son's name now has longer and more beautiful hair than my girl? Friend: haha, oh well, he started to grow it out a while ago because he likes the long hair of father's name. EM: but he looks like a girl and daughter's name looks like a boy. Don't you think this could affect her? Friend: affect her how? Having short hair as a girl isn't uncommon and looks great, and it's okay for boys to have long hair. She pointed to M's head. M has short hair too. M: yeah, but I'm 40 and not a girl anymore. Girls have to have long beautiful hair and boys have to look like boys. If they don't they get all confused. Friend and me: haha, what? EM: so could you please give your son an appropriate haircut so daughter's name doesn't feel so bad about having shorter hair than your boy? Friend: no, I'm not going to do that. He really wants to grow it out, but who knows with children, right? This can change any time, but I will not make him. EM: well, he sure will catch lice then. I mean, I'm still surprised your dirty kids don't already have them. Then you will have to cut his hair. Me, now feeling the need to defend my friend. Hey, now try to be nice. She told you she is not going to cut his hair, so that's just it. I waved at the door. Friend: yeah, how about we all calm down now? M: please leave now, I think we don't have anything else to discuss. Thanks for the lice warning, and tell your daughter she is beautiful. Thankfully, M left without making a ruckus. My friend now is a bit paranoid that M will try to infect her boys with lice on purpose. TLDR, M's daughter got lice, so M cut daughter's hair short. Visits mother of long-haired boy to demand he get an appropriate haircut because it could confuse her daughter's gender identity seeing a boy with longer hair. Posted by you/comic-dog. EM learns that I, a fellow woman, wear a bra and takes a break from putting down her son to complain to my manager. Context: I work in a body products/cosmetics store and I often work in the skincare section. EM: entitled mother. PK, Porkid, me, Minecraft expert. On this particular day, EM comes in with her teenage son Park, and the only thing I can see from a skincare perspective is that he has a bit of acne. Not really even that much, just normal backquote I'm a hormonal teenage boy and only occasionally wash my face by dipping it into the shower acne. However, EM starts instantly telling me about her son's terrible acne, like really going in and saying how obvious it was and how it had to be dealt with. I instantly feel bad for Park because I know that it must be absolutely awful to have your mum talk about your acne like that, especially right in front of you. And sure enough I see him looking really embarrassed and uncomfortable. I immediately tell him that Park has totally normal skin for a teenager and it's really not that noticeable, but we can definitely build a skincare routine around oil control / acne reduction in case he ever really needs it. I start to go through the options, talking mostly to Park. It's going to be his routine after all. He should have a say in it, but M keeps interrupting, and every time she speaks it's to either belittle PK's skin or to scoff at information I'm trying to give about the products. Finally, after about 20 minutes of this awkwardness, we settle on a few key products he seems happy with, and I ask if he'd like a basket to take them up to the register. Instantly M cuts in and says very rudely that she's not happy paying for it without knowing it works. Annoying sure, but okay, that's why we do samples. So I go off to make them like dutiful employee. However, when I take them back to M and Park, he looks utterly mortified, and M just looks at me with the most smug face I've ever seen, and I'm wondering what the hell went down when I was making the samples. I hand them over to Park, tell him I hope they work out, and if he likes them to come back in. EM clears her throat, and I turn around with my politest smile and ask if there's anything else I can assist with. EM, I'm sorry to do this because you've been very helpful, but I want to see the store manager about your lack of professionalism. Park, clearly horrified, Mum no, it's seriously not a big deal. Let's go. Me, utterly gobsmacked, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'll absolutely get my manager, but would you mind telling me what the matter was? EM, your bra has been showing the entire time and I just think that especially when serving customers it's inappropriate. I look down, almost expecting half a boob to be out and instead see that my shirt has slid ever so slightly to the side and you can see the smallest fucking sliver of the plain black strap. I guess my disbelief must have shown on my face because she instantly glares at me and starts in on a lecture about professionalism. EM, don't give me that look. It's been distracting my son the entire time, and as a professional woman like myself I know the value of not being seen backquote wanting it in the workplace. Park, clearly wanting to yeet himself out the nearest window. Mum, you can't say that. At that point I honestly didn't care whether or not the poor dude had actually been looking or not, because I was still reeling over the comment about me in all black workplace clothing with half a plain bra strap showing, apparently meaning I backquote want it. Me, I'm very sorry, my shirt must have slipped. EM, condescendingly, I'm sure, but consequences now will mean you paid better attention to this kind of stuff in future. Hearing that, I was too angry to speak without being rude, so I just went and got my manager. My manager was entirely unhelpful and apologized to EM for the offense caused after she made me apologize of course and promised to talk to all employees about workplace dress code. She even gave EM another sample to make up for the whole thing. Of course the second EM, smugly, and Park, presumably wanting an early death, walked out the door, my manager bitched about insane customers and said my shirt was fine. But the fact that M walked out thinking that humiliating me and her son had gotten her special treatment really makes me furious. I know this wasn't super dramatic compared to other stories on this sub and no one was screaming or anything, but IDK this really pissed me off. Especially the way she treated her son and also how she acted as though she was teaching me a life lesson because my bra strap happened to half exist in her world for a few seconds. Edit, formatting, because I'm a fool. Posted by u/Captain Cantaloupe. Entitled Parent Upset because I wouldn't pass their child when they failed the test. So this happened almost 10 years ago now, but it still irritates me when the topic of parents comes up. So in high school, my friends and I worked as swim instructors for some extra cash during the summers for a swim school. There were 5 levels. I taught level 3 and my friends taught 4 and 5. Level 3 was where the students would really learn to swim. They were taught the front crawl, backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, and how to dive. Level 2 taught the foundation to these strokes. Even though the advertisements for the swim school listed what was to be taught in each level, and where the students' swimming needed to be prior to entering that level, parents would just put their child in level 3, because it was in the middle and their kid somewhat knew how to swim, so level 3 just makes sense. So this one mom enrolls her twin boys who were about 6 in level 3. The first night is just an evaluation night. So I have the students push off the wall and show me how far they can swim and what they know. Most students would go about a quarter of a lane. It wouldn't be pretty, but they would get there. The twins barely made it a few feet after pushing off the wall. The next part of the evaluation required the students to float on their backs for about 20 to 30 seconds. Neither of the twins could float. So at the end of the lesson, I pull the mom aside and suggest she transfer the twins to level 2 as they are not where they are supposed to be to continue in level 3. She tells me they passed level 2 the previous summer and wouldn't send them back. I express my concerns about the remainder of the course and she refused to send her twins to level 2. My manager told me to let it go and just have one of the first year instructors around the twins at all times. So the course continues, and the twins continue to struggle. They can't front crawl, side stroke, breaststroke, backstroke, or really dive. The latter half of the course is all in the deep end and the twins couldn't do anything without a flotation device. It is the final test. To pass, the students have to jump in the 10-foot section and go underwater, then backstroke to me about halfway through the lane, tread water for 30 seconds, float for 30 seconds, then front crawl back to the start. They must then do a sitting, a kneeling, and standing dive. Roughly half the class usually pass. The test is really difficult because level 4 and 5 are extremely difficult. Level 4 and 5 are for students who want to do competitive swimming. Twin 1 jumps in, goes under, comes up, front crawls about 2 to 3 feet, and then grabs the swimming lane line. He floats for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then grabs the lane line. He tries to tread water, and then grabs the lane line. He uses the lane line to get back to the edge. He does a sitting dive, but not a kneeling or a standing dive. Twin 2 jumps in, goes under, comes up, grabs the lane. He doesn't try to swim to me. I ask him if he wants to try treading water and floating. He says no. I ask him if he wants to try to dive, and he does a sitting dive, but like his brother, he doesn't do a kneeling or a standing dive. At the end of the lesson I give each student an envelope with their results in it. Needless to say the twins didn't pass. I told the students if they or their parents wanted to talk about the results I would be around for a little bit after to talk. Entitled mom comes up and is yelling at me for failing her sons, saying how I should have passed them and I was biased against them due to my evaluation on the first night. I'm confused because she watched her sons try the test and neither one was anywhere close to passing. I call my friend who teaches level 4 over and have him explain the first week of level 4. They have to swim an entire lane front crawl and backstroke. They start to learn butterfly and have to float for a minute. The mom still doesn't see how her sons won't be able to pass level 4. Eventually my manager walks over and the mom starts to yell at her. She claims we are terrible instructors because the level 2 instructor failed her sons twice and I just failed her sons in level 3. Mind you, she told me on the first night her sons passed level 2 the previous summer. I'll take the blame on that one for not checking the records to see if they did. She is going on about how she paid for the lessons and her sons should be passing, and they are not. The manager starts to explain how lessons do not mean their child is guaranteed to pass. The mom eventually storms off and says she will never use our school again. The next summer my friends and I go back to work as instructors and the twins were not enrolled. I honestly feel bad for the kids because the lessons must have been torture to them because they couldn't do anything. The first year instructor and I tried to be encouraging to them, but there is only so much you can say besides, it will get easier as you get older. After that year my manager started to put age recommendations on the advertisements. Level 1 ages 4 to 5, Level 2 ages 5 to 9, Level 3 ages 10 and up, Levels 4 and 5 ages 13 and up. TLDR entitled mom signs her kids up for a swim level beyond their skills and complains her kids failed and should be passing because she paid for the lessons. Posted by u/agrimfort. You give me a cheese souffle now. Note, I posted this to entitled people. Someone suggested I posted it here. This happened a couple days ago. I was out and about and still hadn't used the gift card to Panera Bread that my friend gave me for my birthday. Since I was hungry I figured I would give it a try. I never been to Panera Bread before. So I walked in and stared at the menu above totally confused. After a bit a worker came over and chatted with me. I told her my confusion and that I never been. She said she would be happy to recommend something. So I told her my dietary restrictions and wondered if I would be able to get something there. Oh yes, I could. She suggested a 4-cheese souffle and a drink, which was something fancy I don't remember. I said yes and bought the items with my gift card, which ended up having about 50 cents on it after that. I waited for my food. I got my food and sat down. I was just about to eat when a loud bang happened, making me jump. I looked up to see this woman whom I only seen in movies. Seriously, she looked like a 90s kids movie of a stuck-up blonde. She had slammed the door open and strolled in. She walked up to the counter with the "I'm better than any of you" walk, and without waiting for someone to come over, excuse me, someone take my order now," she called out in a demanding tone. The workers were nearby putting some pastries in the oven. However, the woman was tapping her foot looking rather impatient. I couldn't help but watch as I never seen someone whom appeared they belong in a movie before. To hide this, I took out a book and tried to make it look like I was reading. A worker came up. "Sorry for the wait. How may?" The EM starts listing off items. A long list. "And a 4-cheese souffle," said EM. The worker was struggling to keep up with her since she spoke so fast and asked her a couple times to repeat herself. "What? Didn't you hear me? I didn't know they had deaf people working here." The worker laughed. "No miss, I'm just not that fast," said the worker. "Well, hurry it up. If I'm late you will regret it. I have a party to be in 10 minutes, said the EM. The worker went over the list of items again. "I'm sorry miss, but we don't have any more cheese souffles at this time. Maybe another item? This didn't sit well." "What do you mean? I see some over there. Just get me one right now," snapped the EM, pointing to the souffles that were going into a box. "I'm sorry miss, but they are for an order. Someone called before and ordered the food that way," started the worker. "Well, they are not here yet. Just make them more and give those to me. My child only eats the cheese souffle from here," hissed the M. I looked at my still warm and uneaten cheese souffle and debated to myself if I should give her mine and get something else just to shut her up. "I'm sorry miss, but we can't. If you called ahead, then," started the worker. "Why should I? You should know who I am and expect me. Now give me the cheese souffle, and it should be free for how rude you are being to me," yelled the M now. Seriously, yelling? Well, that nailed it. I don't give food to yelling people. She then noticed me out of the side of her eye with a cheese souffle. "La, she has one. You are making things up, so you won't serve me," the worker sighed. "She came in before you, plus that customer has dietary restrictions and most of what we have would make her ill. Please don't bother her." The M glared at me, so I dug my fork into my souffle and took out a nice forkful and ate it. This made her madder. "How dare you serve that cow?" snapped the M, pointing at me. She lied. "Now give me a cheese souffle or I will have your jobs. My baby needs it," as she screamed. The worker sighed. "No, now either you pick something else or leave. You are disturbing other customers. You are making my baby starve. She only eats your cheese souffles," yelled the EM. The worker looked 100% done with this. "Then you should have called ahead. We can't ensure something will be in stock otherwise. And it's almost lunch. People normally order the souffles for breakfast." The M was screaming something at this point, but got to say, it wasn't anything I could figure out. She knocked over anything near her and started to storm out. She then started to stomp off near me. She started to swear and insult me, saying I was the reason people sick and dying. The worker whom I chatted with before rushed over. "Stop that. Get out. You cannot yell at customers and even more, so you can't yell at a disabled woman. Disabled my ass. Snapped the EM. Leave now or I will call the cops, said the worker. The EM flipped us off and stormed out. I was just sitting there. UHT. How? I said, trying to figure things out. The worker smiled at me. Oh, I didn't want to embarrass you. I know you don't remember people's names very well. Plus last time we met you were unwell. I'm Laura. Nice to meet you again. She didn't trigger any episodes this time, did she? As she offered me her hand. I looked at it and shook it. I think I'm okay. I'm just a little shocked with the yelling. But it is quiet in here, so I will recover soon. The worker smiled. Enjoy your meal. Thanks for being so understanding. And off she went to check on everyone. In all, Panera Bread's food was pretty good. And when there wasn't some screaming loon, the atmosphere was pretty chilled. I might go again. And hopefully this time I won't run into an EM. Posted by u/kamikaze. EM throws my cricket bat into a neighbor's car, gets community service. Hello everyone on this lovely subreddit. I've been lurking here for a few days. This story happened a few years ago, so some parts might be a bit off. I don't want to insult your intelligence when it comes to Econ me, but I should note that FF stands for family friend and G for nice gentleman. J stands for judge and PO stands for police officer. The story: a family friend had invited me over to his house for a sleepover. I was 14 at the time, and he lived on a narrow no-through road in a quiet part of Adelaide. Important, otherwise I wouldn't have written it. FF and I were playing cricket on the road, as I have a tendency to hit his tennis ball over the backyard fence. We were careful and aware of all the cars parked on the side of the road, so we had moved near the end of the road near the train tracks. Much didn't happen for about half an hour, until Ek decided to show up. He was a young boy, I'd say 9, who wasn't exactly the nicest to FF or his dog. We both said no to him joining in. EK rushes inside to tell EM. We hear her scream, "Let my little antichrist play with you. We have to let this little s*** play with us now." We included him, but never let him bat as he was too clumsy and nearly snapped it into last time he played with us. He started complaining. We told him what happened last time he batted. He spits the dummy and runs back into his house. We don't see him for the rest of the story. I handed the bat to FF, because I was more of a fan of bowling than batting. I had a really great idea at the time, and that was to bowl a Yorker. The ball lands really close to the batsman's feet. FF smashed the ball down the road and underneath a car, a small little hatchback. He goes underneath the car to look for it. FF, I can't see it. Me, well, we can take our time, your neighbors are fine with this, right? FF, totally. Me, here, pass me the bat. FF, throws the bat over the car roof. Me, what was that? I cold dropped it on the roof. I was lucky to have caught it. FF, snickers, well, good thing you didn't. I decided to lift up the bat and motion to hit the side mirrors, which I did slowly, and left a huge gap between the end of the bat and the mirror. Still wasn't the smartest idea, but not my dumbest. Fly screen door slams and EM approaches. The first whale I've seen in real life. Me, thinking it's the kid who lived at EM's house. Hey, can you get your mum to drive her car out of the way? EM, who the F do you think you are? Trying to smash car mirrors, bullying my son? I'd expect something from an abo like you. I had slightly darker skin than usual, from being outside a lot. I have nothing against aboriginals, I'm just writing what she said to the best of my ability. Me, oh, I thought you were EK. EM, still screeching at the top of her lungs, like she was the front woman of a metal band. Give me the F ******king bat, before I run you flat. I hand her the bat. FF, we lost our tennis ball somewhere underneath your car. Me, it should be next to the back wheel. EM, shut the F up. I can find it myself. EM proceeds to struggle to find the ball. A few minutes had passed, and she finally grabbed the ball, and she threw it onto the train tracks, just as a train passed by, ripping the ball to shreds. Me and FF looked at her in dismay. Me, what the hell was that for? EM, punishment for being a vandalizing abosi ******. FF, he's not Aboriginal, you insensitive B ******. Turns out this was the wrong thing to say. Big surprise, right? EM picks up the bat and with all her might throws the wooden cricket bat into the windscreen of a car on the opposite side of the road. Me and FF grin while EM's jaw hit the floor. I suddenly realized that was FF's bat was in the windscreen of his neighbor's car. He made a run for it while I stared at the woman in shock. I grabbed the wickets and ran off into FF's house. A few hours had passed and there was a knock at the door. FF's parents worked all day and always got home when it was dark 7 p.m.ish, sometimes longer. I went to open the door and saw the police waiting at the door. Me, good evening officers. PO1, are you FF's name? Me, no I'm Kamikaze I'm staying over for the weekend. PO2, well we've been told that you threw a cricket bat into a car's windshield. Me, should I get FF? PO2, yes. I proceed to tell FF everything that happened while he was in the bathroom. EM and NG were standing beside the police by the time we got back. EM, those other boys that broke NG's windscreen. Me and FF in unison, but you were the one that threw the bat. NG was a close friend of FF's parents and knew that he wouldn't do such a thing. We were taken in for questioning anyway. My parents and FF's parents found out about this incident. EM said that we also threatened to hit her car too. We went over to NG's house where he showed us that had CCTV on the outside of his house. EM decided to press charges against us all, and we had no evidence to deny this, but she had no evidence proving that we threw the bat, and here's where NG turned into our savior. NG, Your Honor, I have evidence against what EM is saying. J, show me then. NG hands multiple pictures of the CCTV and his car to the judge. EM, that has to be forged. I didn't throw the bat. Me, unless you snatched the bat from my arms and threw it into NG's windscreen. There was about an hour of a heated, but somehow civil argument. The judge finally came down to a decision that me and FF were innocent and that EM was guilty of vandalism. We were able to get her to cough up enough money for NG to get a nice brand new windscreen and tinting for every window. In conclusion, we had a close call and we are lucky to not be guilty. I haven't played cricket since. When I reach 1000 subscribers I will be giving away a $25 Amazon gift card away. To enter, like, subscribe and leave a comment below.